All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Echad. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nat, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, that's edifying to the Lord's elect. I'm going to start in the news, see what's in there. It says Russia hammers Kiev as Zelensky heads to U.S. for Trump talks. So he had came out with a 20-point peace plan. But I read last night, Russia said this is unrealistic. There's no way in hell he's gonna. I don't know what's in the 20 peace plan, but all I needed to know is Russia said that's unrealistic. So whatever plan they came out with, it might benefit Kiev, but it don't benefit the Russians. Oh, you gotta give us this much land back and shit like that. Of course he's not gonna do that. Why would the hell they said he's on the highway to go to Kiev. And once he's there, he can run the whole country from that point. So all of this debate, all of this peace plan bullshit, the peace is going to come from the Russians saying, hey, we got Kiev. Okay? Then you might be able to make peace with Poland. But we know we at the end, man. We know we at that time where those wars are going to they're going to increase. They're not going to be rumors anymore. Ain't gonna be no damn peace. Okay? It says Christmas travelers left stranded as airports see mass flight cancellation delays. You should have thought about that before you left. You should have thought about that, man. Now you can't even get home. That's people who are not circumspect. Shit like that's gonna happen to them. People who lack wisdom. Things like that's gonna happen to you. You're gonna try to escape and you're gonna fall into another situation that you can't get out of. Now the cancellations, that happens all the time. Weather can mess up to cancel your flight. Anything can happen, but it just goes to show you went to go celebrate a wicked ass holiday, now you can't get back. Now there's something wrong with you on your way back. Now you're stuck at the airport. Now we know that it tells you in Jeremiah the 51st chapter that, people are going to want to go back to the country that they came from. Let us flee out of the midst of Babylon. You're going to try to. And this time, you're going to come back over here, and then you're not going to get back over to where you wanted to go. So those same your flight going to be canceled, man. The best time to leave is now. Don't even come back. Don't leave everything behind. Just go to a far country, man. Don't come back here, man. This place is gonna be destroyed. We've been telling you that. You still want to go on vacation and go see your family, go celebrate a wicked ass holiday, put on your stupid ass jingle bells and all of that bull crap, celebrating the fall when we were in slavery. That's what y'all did. You passed gifts around. You bowed your head to get the gift under the tree, bowing your head to some Babylonian god because you don't know any better, even though somebody told you. And it also represents, we were gifts. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the so-called white man used to send you gifts, send you as a little pet to his daughter. Put a bird cage around your head, man. Tell her Merry Christmas. And the little white girl be all happy. Thanks, Dad. I always wanted a nigga, boy. Thanks, Dad. So that's what you celebrating. Now they washed it down and made it look like, oh, everyone can do it. It's a paganistic holiday. It got supposedly Christians believe in it too, because they're foolish. You Christians don't know the Bible, man. You have no clue what's in this Bible at all. No clue. The word Christmas is not in the Bible. There ain't nobody was celebrating that in the Bible, man. Israelites didn't celebrate that. They got a whole chapter on that in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. We didn't do that. But you heathen do that. And it tells you not to follow the ways of the heathen, and that's what you're doing. And in Bethlehem, they had a whole damn 50-foot Christmas tree right next to a crescent moon mosque over there in the land of Jerusalem. You think the Lord's happy about that? I was going into my lesson last night how we're supposed to be destroying these altars. We're supposed to be destroying your enemy's altars. This nigga got a 50-foot Christmas tree, probably in your house too. He got altars in your home. That's what you brought inside your house, an altar. An altar to a Babylonian god. Semiramis and Tammuz or something like that. Nimrod. You were bowing your head to Nimrod this weekend. And now you stuck at the airport. That's what you get. That's what the fuck you get. And you might board a plane that's gonna crash and explode with your whole family in it because you did that. Let me grab this. It says, let me grab this in the book of Joel, because the Lord prophesied about these things, man. You can't be ignorant about these things, especially if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. You can't be, come on, man. You gotta be out of your damn mind. As foolish as this nigga sloppy as this fucking crack is right now, get the fuck out of here. You still serving him in the church? You out of your damn mind. And he got altars in your mind too. He got them set up in your mind. That's why you willing to die for a so-called white man. An abominable man, a base man. Look up Cesare Borgia, Caesar Borgia. Jesus Christ is on the earth right now, and he ain't helping you, man. Go look up the Rothschild. Go Google the Rothschild that takes plastic bottles and make boats out of them. That's Jesus Christ in the reincarnation. He got all the money in the world, and he don't give two shits about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I promise you. He don't give a fuck about you. He more concerned about taking plastic bottles and making boats out of them. That's your Jesus Christ. Let me grab this in the book of Joel chapter 3, verse 1. It says, the nations will be judged, is the headline. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Yeah, you parted his land. The Lord, when you read the book of Joshua, he divided the lands. He gave, okay, Joshua said, okay, that's you, that's the half tribe of Manasseh. This is your land. That's Judah. That's Benjamin. That's Simeon. That's Zebulun. That's Asher. That's this. That's that. Now look at the lines. Where these battles are supposed to be taking place, I believe that land is allocated to one of the half tribes of Manasseh, if I'm not mistaken. When you look at a map, at the old map. So these are two heathen nations fighting in your land over land that don't belong to them. You don't hear about West Manasseh and East Manasseh fighting over this land, do you? No. You don't even know who that is. According to the Bible, that land belongs to them. Where they at? What the hell are you two doing in there? Putting up trees and have crescent moons over there. Joel chapter 3, verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yeah, they cast lots for my people. Yeah, I want this one over here. Give me 55, 50, you know how they talk like that. Hey, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And 144, I love when the 144 bus come. Let me see, can you see that? Can you see the 144? No? There you go. There you go. Joel chapter 3, verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. And that's what they did in during slavery, during the Atlantic slave trade. They sold boys for a harlot, because Esau liked little boys and girls, and a girl for wine. You know, you sip on wine. What do you do that for? For your pleasure. Okay, that's what you do it for. And that's what he did. And that's what he still continues to do. That's why you have Epstein's lists and things like that. He's still selling boys for harlots. He's still having girls for wine. Okay? Tells you in the book of Revelation, let me grab it, that Revelation 18, it talks about this, it's talking about America and how they had all this trade. And one of the things that they sold was the souls of men. Revelation 18 and 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. That's right. There's no man going to be able to buy their merchandise anymore because it's going to be destroyed. So the rich elite, they're going to be thinking about all of that. When this shit get destroyed, all the tunnels and trafficking, human trafficking operations that they have here, all that shit's gonna be destroyed. They're gonna be thinking, damn, no one's gonna buy my merchandise. That's how this country got rich. When you go to a far country and you steal their women, children, and families and bring them over here, that's human trafficking. Okay? So that's how he started this nation. He did it with you. First of all, he had people over here too from wars and shit like that. But when he went into the west part of Africa, that's what he went and grabbed over there. He grabbed you as a resource, okay, and brought you over here. And he stripped you of your nationality. He stripped you of your customs. He stripped you of everything, your dignity, your integrity. And what he poured into you was wickedness, lies, bullshit. And the Lord gave us the spirit to wash our minds away from all that crap. Everything this nigga got is defiled. Now we're spewing up this vomit that he put inside of us. And we're drinking the blood and eating the flesh of Yahweh Shai, which is the truth, okay? Because that's the only thing that's going to sustain us in these last days. It's not going to be anything we learn from the so-called white man, because everything that he knows is death. That's all he is, according to Habakkuk the 2. Niggas is as death, the largest his desire is hell. We don't know a damn thing. You can't learn, even his math is wrong. His math is wrong. I forgot the dude who brought it out, man. He broke down the multiplication of 1 times 1. A lot of people that went over his head, but I understood what he was saying. It works on a falsehood first in order for it to be true. And that's a whole different thing, man. He got something called he got imaginary numbers. This is a wizard we're talking about, man. This is a wizard. Now, you talk to a smart man, and he's gonna tell you the imaginary numbers is just to point in a direction. Okay, he's gonna tell you it's all vectorial mathematics, and we understand that. Okay, with the direction, all of his lies and his all of his lies are going to lead to your destruction, is the point. Okay. Revelation 18 and 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet. And I was just looking at that last night. Why don't you go into Fort Knox and go do a gold reserve on that, gold count? He said he was going to do it and never did it. Now he's in the northern part of Africa trying to steal resources from over there. Probably so he can bring it back to Fort Knox and then open it up and see, we got gold. Because the way the so-called white man works, he's so greedy. Somebody probably at a high level got in a position, sold all that gold so he could get money in his pockets. Sold the whole nation out. Because they can't rule. They always been like a cutthroat type of nation. They all fight against each other over stupid shit. Always warring against each other. Here it is, you got Russia and America, the two most prominent nations, can't sit down and just break bread together. Nope, they gotta go to war over stupid shit. Russia's sitting on trillions of natural resources, man. I think $80 trillion just in undeveloped natural resources. Untapped. That's really why these Europeans and these Edomites want to get over there. You look at Europe, they don't have shit over there, so you know they don't got shit over here in Babylon. It tells you in the book of Genesis, I believe the 4th chapter, where it tells you about how Cain's curse was that the ground should not yield its strength. So the ground yielded its strength, and what he did, he couldn't obtain it, man. He sold all that shit, man. He got GMO, everything. He sold your topsoil to other countries. So this was a fruitful land at first, because the Israelites were here first. They didn't defile this land. This nigga came over here, sold everything, and now look at it. It's just like it was in Europe. Nothing. Nothing here. Even the reserves he had, it don't exist. Now, I don't got any proof. I'm just thinking through the spirit that why would you go out robbing and stealing if you got all, if I had cash, I don't need to go be a stick-up boy. If I got money, I don't need all of that. I'm up. You should be sticking me up. No, he's not like that. He's going out, doing the robbing because he don't have it. So his actions are showing you what's really going on, man, in this world, in this country. His actions are showing you he don't have nothing here. Your bank account, if he's willing to rob your gold reserves, you don't think he'll rob your bank account? You don't think he'll rob your 401k? Blame it on the Chinese? He got all these options, man. When he takes the crypto market, he gonna just take all your money. He gonna try to run away scot clean to fight this war so we can go steal more money. Just like he did with Gemini. Gemini's it's a crypto site where you buy crypto assets and shit like that. If you put your money, if you had some of that money and you put it into I forgot what you call it, where you put the money, when you click it and put the coin, and you get interest on the coin. Well, if your money was tied into, you get interest off that coin, you didn't have your money for like a couple years. You could have had a Bitcoin getting 5-6% on a Bitcoin, and you got robbed, and they didn't even pay you for the interest you were supposed to gain on your Bitcoin. So he's gonna do the same thing. It's called Mount Gox. Mount Gox is when the crypto exchange, it was like the first crypto exchange that came out, and everyone was buying Bitcoin on it. But at that point, they didn't have ledgers where you could take that money and put it on the ledger. So there was no cold wallet, as they call it. And what did he do? He fucking, a damn Edomite, robbed your ass, man. And there's people still fighting over those, because there's a bunch of trillionaires walking around here. They got robbed. They bought Bitcoin when no one believed in it, man, for $1. When Bitcoin was the price of, it was 0.0000 something, man. They bought thousands of Bitcoins, man. So we crashed that, stole their money. And now look what he's trying to do. All of a sudden, now he got 400,000 to go put on a infrastructure, a digital infrastructure. Get the fuck out of here, man. You don't get this money unless he rob, steal, and kill for it. That's the only way he get this dough. Okay? Anyways, Revelation 18, in verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, or thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. So that's what the merchandise of this place is, man. Slaves, man. Okay? Now, you might look online and catch an Edomite talking about how there was other slave trades and things like that. That's true. That's true. The Arabs had us in slavery. The Chinese man had us in slavery. The so-called white man had us in slavery. It's all true. And they're all going into slavery, and we're going to do the same shit to you. So, rock and say Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh shot for that. I'm glad you acknowledge that. in the souls of men. So they still making money off this. They're still making money off of this, whether you believe it or not. But it's gonna all come crashing down into the end. All right. Let me go back to Joel 3. Joel 3:3, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And they still doing that today. That's like I was saying, that's why you got things like the Epstein's case. And then there was some more news that Epstein wasn't just a pedophile. He was actually really smart. He had plans to create a superhuman race, just like the Germans would do. Those Nazis that they talk about, that's what they were trying to do. Create a superhuman race. Well, that superhuman race it already exists. And it's the nation of Israel. You can't create that. Okay? The Heavenly Father created that. That's why his son is gonna come here. He's gonna destroy your ass. And all you Nazi German and all you gonna get destroyed, man. They say it is no more wisdom in teaming. That's talking about you Germans. Y'all got all this knowledge, you wicked elite. You're gonna be destroyed with all that technology the Lord gave you. You got hypersonic missiles, you got all this shit, man. That's just nothing for the Lord. He told you in Isaiah 47, he's not gonna meet you as a man. So that's the body that we're talking about. That's the superhuman being right there. That's Yahweh Shai that he wants to be. You can't be that. Okay? That's not your blessing, Esau. Esau, your blessing is to run around with a sword like a madman and then be destroyed. All right? Let me grab this in the book of so go get your sword, pick your sword, go keep aiming your gun at those cans that you got with black faces and shit like that in the woods like you do. Go eat your bear meat and your raccoon tail. Go make yourself a hat and go practice shooting at those cans, man. Because you're going to have to use your gun in these last days. Your government going to come and take your fucking pea shooter, your red rocket. Let me grab this in the book of Matthew, chapter 27, and verse number, is it 27? Nope. Matthew, chapter 26, and verse, I'll start at 47. And while he spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. Forthwith he came to Yahweh Shai and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahweh Shai said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahweh Shai and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahweh Shai stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahweh Shai unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. And that's what Esau. All they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So you're gonna get your sword, you're gonna perish with it. And that's your blessing. Your blessing is to perish away with your blessing. Okay? Which is carnal. And that's what he's gonna be using in these last days. Let me grab this in the book of Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 31. In verse 4, it says, Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And that's what's going to happen to the so-called white man. And there's a term for that when the Japanese kill themselves. Let me find that. That's what Esau's going to do. He created this sword, the thermonuclear missile, and that's how he's going to be destroyed. What's the term called when Japanese people stab themselves in a suicide to show honor? Seppuku. The term for the ritual suicide practiced by the Japanese people to show honor is called seppuku. Seppuku means cutting the belly. Was a form of ritual suicide by disembowelment. Practiced predominantly by a samurai in feudal Japan, it was performed as a method of protest to restore honor, to avoid capture in battle, or as a form of capital punishment for crime or wrongdoing. This practice is sometimes referred to in the West by the term harakiri, which uses the same characters, but it is considered a more colloquial or vulgar term. The ceremony was a highly ritualized and solemn act. The samurai would often prepare himself by bathing, dressing in white robes, and eating a final meal with a small knife called a tanto or wazkazashi. He would make a deep horizontal cut across his abdomen. Traditionally, a trusted second called a kayashakunin would then perform a swift and merciful decapitation with the sword to end the pain and suffering of the samurai almost immediately after the abdominal cut. Woo. Woo. That's why he want to be the Caesar, right? That's what the Caesar goes into, a C-section. So you're going to get cut with your own sword. He's the Caesar. He's the king of Rome, right? The emperor. Let's look that up as a matter of fact. Is a Caesar a C-section? Yes, Caesar or Caesarean is just another name for a C-section, which stands for cesarean section, a surgical birth where the baby is delivered through incisions in the mother's abdomen and uterus rather than vaginally. It's a common procedure used when vaginal birth isn't safe, and it's also called a cesarean delivery or a cesarean birth, and you're going to get a C-section, Esau. And it said, what's so spiritual about it is, he said he would eat a last meal before he did it and clothe himself in white. And it tells you in the book of Job that when this nigga's about to fill his belly, Esau, when you're about to fill your belly, and what he means by that is when he implements the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, he's gonna get a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the whole world's gonna take it. He's gonna think, as he's devouring you from taking it, he's gonna think his plan worked. And that's what this is talking about. Let me grab it though. Job chapter, I think it's 20. Job 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Straits means difficulties, like a straight jacket, not straight like a straight line. He's going to be in straits. It's going to be difficult. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. So as the so-called white man, the elites of the so-called white man are trying to get this new world order, it's not gonna be easy. All right? He's gonna be in straits because the Lord is gonna confound this nigga, because that's what he is. He's a fucking nigga, man. And the world hates niggas, man. And the top nigga in the world is the so-called white man. Okay, so all these curses, all these derogatory terms that were placed on the nation of Israel is coming to you damn devils, man. And you're gonna finally see in these last days where the damn devil is. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Let me finish it. Hold on, I got notes here. Let me see what I said. Let's see what I said. Straits, Yasar, to suffer distress, place of difficulty. Okay, yeah. And then it says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So the wicked, in this sense, is talking. When you look in it, I think the word is what's the word? When you look at that word, it's Yasar, or no, Amel. And it means laborer, sufferer, wretched one. So a laborer, so the people who are laboring, every hand of the wicked, which is 2/3, the heathen nations, they're all wicked because they would be considered wicked because they don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So they're gonna be fighting over their jobs, things like that. Okay, so that's gonna be another, especially this draft that's coming. Can't forget about that. Just attacked Nigeria, so that's another battlefront. He just attacked some ISIS targets in Syria. So y'all got he's gonna have plenty of employment for you, you newly graduates. You graduate in 2026, you're gonna come out with a engineering degree. There's an engineering position in Syria for you. You're a nurse. Well, there's plenty of new opportunities in northern Nigeria for you. Okay, you got a language arts major. Well, guess what? They need to train some terrorists in a different country. You can teach them how to speak English over there. Plenty of opportunities for you, you Babylonians. Don't worry, we're gonna make America great. You're just gonna have to go to a far country in order to make the money that you need to feed your family that's over here. And a lot of y'all are gonna do it. So a lot of people are gonna do it and a lot of people are not. And that's why the wicked are gonna have their hands upon it. Okay? Job 20 and verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So when you're about to fill your belly, okay? Just like when he was getting the C-section, like the Japanese man, the samurai man, in the hippokutu, whatever the hell, sopokutu, or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's when the Lord is going to rain upon him. Let's grab this in the book of Isaiah 34 and verse 5. Isaiah 34 verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judge it. And the people of his curse is the Edomites. Okay? That sword is going to be bathed in heaven because it's going to enter into the space and come down crashing on Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. So it's talking about you Edomites. And where do you dwell the most? Here in Babylon the Great. Okay? And that's where the sword's coming. All right? There's multiple swords. It's going to be a grand finale of thermonuclear missiles here. You like that shit. You about to have it in January the 1st. You're going to celebrate. You're going to see all firecrackers and shit like that. That's kind of like what's going to happen here. But instead of firecrackers, it's going to be thermonuclear missiles. Thermonuclear warheads blowing this place up. And you can read about Joel 2, what that looks like from Joel's perspective. Isaiah 34 and verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord had a sacrifice in Basra and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So that's talking about here in America. Y'all are the sacrifice. You're the ram. You're the goat. Okay, you're gonna be you're here at the altar. The Lord set up his priests here so we can spiritually slay you with the sword, then he gonna physically slay you with the sword. So that's what's gonna happen, man. You're already getting cut in pieces as we speak, but then the fire's coming from the Lord. All right? So this place is gonna be destroyed. This is the book of Job 20. Let me see if I have anything here. I put in my notes, it says the fury of his wrath is talking about the thermonuclear missiles that are going to be shot from Russia, North Korea, Iran, and some of the American allies. Or anybody who got any American ally, I should have said. I probably wrote this a long time ago when I first came in the truth. Put my notes in my phone. Anyone who got thermonuclear missiles, they're gonna be shot and they're going somewhere. They're gonna hit some place, okay? And it's gonna hit here in America. The book of Job, chapter 20, and verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Yeah, he's gonna try to flee. He's gonna flee because it tells you in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, how he's gonna be in the clefts of the, he's gonna be hiding in Mount Carmel, he's gonna be in the sea, and the serpents will bite him. He's gonna be trying to go into these different bunkers. The iron weapons is thermonuclear destruction. He's gonna flee from that. Because they gotta be preserved. The elites of Esau are gonna be preserved, not for salvation, man, but to go into slavery. And through them, we're gonna bring back the rest of you heathens, the rest of the Edomites, and we're gonna put you in slavery. Then you're gonna see it's gonna be a different world very soon. You're gonna die on this side if you're not part of the elite, because he ain't gonna save your ass. You probably got a bunker here in Babylon, you're gonna be destroyed because you lack wisdom. You got all this food and all that shit. It's either gonna be given to the elect or you're gonna get burnt up with it. But you're not gonna enjoy it. It's for nothing. Or he might, wherever, depending on where you're at, when you go down there, you're gonna have to eat each other down there. You're gonna run out of food. It's gonna be your grave at the end of the day. Ain't no one gonna make it. This is the wrath of the Most High, man, we're talking about, that this country's gonna experience for what they did to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that they boast themselves in. They think nothing gonna happen to their ass, and it is. It is gonna happen to you. It is. The destruction's coming from the Lord himself. He's gonna destroy you. Job chapter 20 and verse 25, it is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. That's talking about the thermonuclear missile. That's the glittering sword. It's coming out of the gall. It's coming out of the body, which is the silos. All right, and it's coming to hit America, Babylon, from these different countries. You go to Revelation, the 17th chapter, it talks about how these nations are going to hate the whore. That's talking about the Europeans. They're already starting to hate the whore. France got companies in with Russia to help develop some type of nuclear energy in Germany, which doesn't make any sense. So they're working with the Russians on nuclear activities. Come on, man. Come on, that's just a sign. They're saying they want to bring some type of energy to Germany, but we already seeing that iron and clay, they ain't meshing well together. They ain't meshing well together, man. So we at the second foot of that of Daniel's vision of Babylon, of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Job chapter 20, verse 26, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. That's right. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Which is talking, the tabernacle is your house. So it's going to go ill with you. Ill's not a good thing, man. If someone says I'm ill, if Jake say, he probably means something different. But if Esau says he's ill, he's sick, man. It's not going to go well with you. You know? Jake be taking your language and making it better. He give it some flavor to it. But ill is not a good thing, man. If you feeling ill, you don't want to feel ill, man. When the Lord comes, that's not the time you want to feel ill. You want to be rejoicing. You want to be in the power of praising him for bringing this destruction. And the only way you could do that is if he has you being aligned with his will. If you're not aligned with his will, then you're out of your mind. You're an enemy of the Lord. And you're going to be destroyed. You're adverse. You're Satan. You're an antichrist. If you don't have that that mindset to be aligned with the will of the Lord. Job 20 verse 27, the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. In the earth, everything is already rising up against this devil. As you can see, he's not like he used to be. A lot of people are exposing him. Different countries. Even I was watching a video about these Nigerian, I don't know if he was a prime minister or what, but he was saying, you know, from his perspective on the ground, that the duck is using this situation, he's perverting it, or he's divisive with it, with what he's doing. Of course he's divisive with it, because he's not there to help these so-called black Christians. He don't give a fuck about black anything. All right? He don't care about that. So if you're in the mindset to think that he's going over there to help some Christians who believe, he don't give a fuck about that. That's a false god, man. Why would he give a fuck about something that's false? He wants something that's real, like your resources. Maybe some of your people. Maybe some of your kids. That's what Esau likes. That's what he likes. Let's see what else I got over here. Anything else? James 5 verse 4. Let's go there real quick. So he gonna fall on his own sword. And then he going into slavery. Let me grab this in Revelation 13, of course. Revelation 13 and 9. And if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience in the faith of the saints. So he must be killed with the sword. He gotta be killed this way, with the thermonuclear missiles. He must be. Okay. Isaiah 14 verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So that they do not rise or possess the land or fill the face of the world with cities. Like he's done. This is the city that I'm in. All this shit's gonna be destroyed. All right? And that he does not rise again. Malachi chapter 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall flee to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay? So-called white man's not being oppressed. He's doing the oppressing. He's going to get ruled over. They that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. This is the faith and the patience of the saints. So you see what we're patiently waiting for. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. It says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So you're going to go, all of you, all of our adversaries are going into captivity. It's not just Esau. Going back to the analogy of this video, not an analogy, this dude's doing a video on how the so-called, there was multiple different slave trades. He was trying to make it seem like the transatlantic slave trade was like, not the worst of them all. But that was prophecy being fulfilled, you fool. Okay? Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Now, yes, we went into different slaveries, but the same thing applies. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, while the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So we were sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no one shall buy us. So you don't think the Lord could do that to you too? You don't think the Lord's going to do that to you? You're going into bondage. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So you're going to get all these curses. And one of them, like I just read, is going on slave ships to Egypt. Okay, and Egypt is the house of bondage. Exodus chapter 20, verse 2, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. That's right, he brought us out of the land of Egypt. That was ancient Egypt. This is modern day Egypt. And he's going to bring us out of here too. Jeremiah 31 in verse 31? No, I think it's Jeremiah 16, the precept that I'm looking for. Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, which is ancient Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So that's what he's going to do. It's like it says in Isaiah the 14th chapter. Jeremiah's matching up with Isaiah the 14th chapter, showing us that the Lord's going to take us up out of here, bring us into our own land, and then we're going to rule over our oppressors for servants and handmaids, bondmen, bondwomen, just like we were to them. So it's not an unrighteous thing for him to do that. As a matter of fact, what's that, 1 Thessalonians? First Thessalonians. Or is it Second Thessalonians? Second Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So it's a righteous thing, man. It's a righteous thing with God to recompense them that trouble you, to pay them back for what they did to you. That's a righteous thing. It's not unrighteous for the Lord to do that. He tells you in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, in verse 7, it says, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So it's not unrighteous for him to recompense them for what they did to you. He sowed wickedness, he sowed deceit, he sowed evil, and that's what he's going to get back. He's going to get evil, he's going to get back the deceit, those lies, he's going to get met with the truth. He told people there's no recompense for his wickedness, but he's going to get recompense for that. The Lord is not mocked. Okay? Galatians 6 and 8, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So when we sow, we reap. So we sow into the Spirit. That's what we want to sow into. Sow into the Spirit. Sow into the Lord. The time you invest in the Lord is not going to be forgotten. He calls it the labor of love. Labor of love. Hebrews chapter 6 and 10. For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So I'm ministering to the saints and do minister. Okay, because if he's not going to forget your works and labor of love, why wouldn't you sow in that area where he's not going to forget? We all got the word from somebody. Somebody gave us the word. They weren't out laboring, we would have not got the word. Let me grab this. 1 Thessalonians 1 verse 3. Remembering without ceasing your work of faith and labor of love and patience of hope in our Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, in the sight of God and our Father. That's right. Remembering. Let me grab this in the book of Romans, chapter 10. Verse number 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Heavenly Father. So faith cometh by hearing, and hearing of the word of the Heavenly Father. You got to hear the word. And then men, what they do is they take those words, they apply it to things that are happening in the world. You're not supposed to spark faith. If you're an Israelite, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you're supposed to get on your feet, man, and get ready for the battle that's ahead of you, ahead of us. Because the whole nation's going to be affected by Jacob's trouble. But we understand, according to Zechariah the 13th chapter, that what? That 2/3 shall be cut off and die. So 2/3 of y'all with 6.66.6, y'all going to die, man. And no one can help you, no one can save you. No matter how many men he puts on the highways and hedges, you ain't gonna hear the word, man. It ain't coming to you. Okay? Romans chapter 10, verse 18, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. And the way the words are going into the end of the world is by going on the internet and being broadcast on the internet. So if you don't hear the words of Yahweh Shai, it's because ultimately the Lord has rejected you. If you don't receive it. All right? You can reject it, man. Let me grab this from Jeremiah 6 and 30. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because the Lord have rejected them. So if you don't get the word, it's ultimately because you've been rejected by Yahweh Shai. He don't want you to stand stiff before his name. He don't want his son to put a crown on your cranium. He wants the sword to fall upon you, man. Because you didn't want his son to reign over you. Right? You don't want to praise the Son, who's worthy to be praised. You wanted to praise Esau. You wanted Esau to remain telling you lies, man. So you can feel good about yourself. So when you celebrate Christmas and things like that, you're gonna feel good about yourself. But them days are over, man. Those altars you set up in your house and in your heart, they're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be destroyed with it. Deuteronomy 7 verse 25, the graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest you be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it. For it is a cursed thing. That's right, it is a cursed thing. A lot of y'all are cursed. Just like the so-called white man Esau Edom, who's gonna get this thermonuclear destruction to help him out, burn him up. Just like the tree he likes to put in people's houses. Just like your idol. It's gonna get burnt up. And the consuming fire is gonna do it. And that's not a good thing, you know. Your father brings some shit like that, you live with your pops and he brings some shit like that in your house, your pops is cursed. You gotta keep your calling and election short, man. Because a lot of your families and things like that, they're not gonna teach you the word. They're not gonna teach you this word. Yahweh Shai told you, if you love your father or mother more than I, he cannot be my disciple. What's that, Luke 14? And 26, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life, also, he cannot be my disciple. So you gotta choose, man. You gotta choose this day whom you will serve. Describe that in the book of Joshua. You gotta choose. Joshua chapter 24. Or is it 20? Nope. Joshua 24, verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. That's right, serve ye the Lord. Put away the gods you served before. In truth and sincerity, which is, you know, you making an honest, sincere effort to seek the Lord. Not out here for filthy lucre's sake, trying to make some money. No, you sincerely and truthfully seeking the Lord. That's the type of spirit the Lord is dealing with. Joshua chapter 24 and verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord Yahweh, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's right, we will serve the Lord. You want to serve the gods of this land? You want to serve the so-called white man Esau Edom, Caesar Borgia? You know, the gods of the Amorites, the Hamites. You serving all these false gods, man. You celebrating Saturnalia, Ishtar. You celebrated that. You celebrated Ishtar. You celebrated Halloween. Celebrating these things, man. You ain't serving Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Tells you in Amos in the 5th chapter, he despises these types of feast days that you people have. Not biblical, even though he switched up that word for the Passat to Easter. Esau got to pay for that. All these plagues are going to come upon him for doing shit like that. Okay? So if you can't get the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, man, you're going to have the same judgment as the so-called white man, and it ain't good, man. Of course, starting with his elites, you know. But all Idumea is they going into slavery, man. All of them. And then when you get on the other side, when Israel's back in the rulership, you're gonna have your head down. You don't want to have your head down in the kingdom to come. I don't. I want to be singing aloud upon my bed. Let me finish this up. I gotta go. Joshua 24. In verse 16, and the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. Yeah, that's right. God forbid that you will forsake the Lord to serve other gods. We don't want to do that. For the Lord our God, he it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, in which did those great signs in our sight and preserved us all the way wherein we went and among all the people through whom we passed. And the Lord drave out from before us all the people, even the Amorites which dwell in the land. Therefore will we also serve the Lord, for he is our God. That's right. Remembering those things that he's done for us in the past, done for the nation of Israel. We're remembering these things so we can trust in him again by reading these stories of our past and coming back into remembrance and serving him again more fervently than we did before in this lifetime. Joshua chapter 24 and verse 19, and Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is an holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after that he have done you good. That's right. He'll consume you, man. That's why it's better to just, you got to keep serving him, man. And the people said unto Joshua, nay, but we will serve the Lord Yahweh. And Joshua said unto the people, ye are witnesses against yourselves that ye have chosen you the Lord Yahweh to serve him. And they said, we are witnesses. Now therefore put away, said he, the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart unto the Lord God of Israel, and your heart, your mind. You gotta incline your heart, man. Okay, put it where it belongs, man. It belongs to the Lord. Okay. Joshua 24 and 24, and the people said unto Joshua, the Lord our God will we serve, and his voice will we obey. So Joshua made a covenant with the people that day and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of God and took a great stone and set up there under an oak that was by the sanctuary of the Lord. And Joshua said unto all the people, behold, this stone shall be a witness unto us, for it have heard all the words of the Lord which he spake unto us. It shall be therefore a witness unto you, lest ye deny your God. So Joshua let the people depart, every man unto his inheritance, and that's your land. Okay, but the whole creation has been a witness against us, man. They understand that we've made a covenant with the Lord. And the whole creation's mourning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God, according to Romans, the 8th chapter. But I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Kodash. Shalom, Abad